Let's take a trip down memory lane for just a second here. Go back to January 30th, I believe, 2011. More specifically, the Royal Rumble, where in the biggest Royal Rumble in history, the Royal Rumble match that is, the first ever 40-man Royal Rumble, it comes down to where it looks like Del Rio wins, and Santino Marella rises up because he was never eliminated, and the top two being Del Rio and Santino fighting for that spot of winner for the Royal Rumble match. Santino Marella in the driver's seat in the Cobra about to eliminate Del Rio, looking like the biggest upset of his career. Del Rio counters and wins the match. The reason why I want you to think back to that is because I remember, for me personally, watching that match. I had a bunch of people over at my house that night, and that was easily the loudest my house has ever been when it comes to watching wrestling over there. Just with all the excitement going on, nobody wants to see Del Rio win. Everybody wants to see Santino win, and Del Rio pulling it off in the end. But what does this have to do with John's Wrestling Views? More on that in a minute. First of all, welcome to John's Wrestling Views. I'm your host, John. Thanks for tuning in. Summerslam last night, overall a great pay-per-view, action-wise, one of the best of the year easily. Starts off with a great six-man tag as Rey Mysterio led his team of Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, and himself into victory against The Miz, Alberto Del Rio, and R-Truth. Great six-man tag. You know, you got six great, amazing athletes in that match. Of course, it's going to be a great match. Just added that night, and I'm glad that they added that shit to it. So, great way to kick it off. Followed by Sheamus and Mark Henry. Mark Henry winning via countout after doing the world's strongest slam on Sheamus through the barricade. Once again, wow, pretty impressive. It was a little lame to see ending the countout, but the way it happened can draw your eyes anyway. Kelly and Beth Phoenix actually having a great match right afterwards. Seeing Beth Phoenix in a dominant role for most of the match, about to go for her glam slam, and Kelly actually reverses it into a victory roll, getting the win. Once again, great match. Then, in my opinion, the best match of the night, Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett. Great match, going both ways the whole time. A lot of high flying, a lot of submission, a lot of everything else. In the end, sees Wade Barrett able to hit Wasteland and get the victory there. Great match. But let's not forget about the other great match of the night, in my opinion. Christian defending the world title against Randy Orton. Sees the return of Edge for, well, probably a one-night return, saying, you know, Christian's still his best friend, but he's just too much of a crybaby, essentially, and Edge doesn't support that. This was all before the match went on. Christian and Randy Orton, no holds barred, fought hard, tooth and nail, to the end where Randy Orton hits the RKO as Christian was diving from the second rope. Randy Orton hits RKO onto the steel stairs where Christian's ribs hit. Great ending. But John Cena and CM Punk, WWE Champion versus WWE Champion, with Triple H as a special referee. That's the one match that everyone was talking about going into SummerSlam. It's the one match that was drawing the ratings and everything else, as usually there is one or two matches that really stick out among the rest. This one was definitely that one. Pretty great match, honestly. I was a little more impressed with their match at Money in the Bank. But no, great match. In the end, see CM Punk hitting the go to sleep on John Cena. John Cena has his foot on the bottom rope. Triple H still counts to 3. CM Punk wins. Controversy, yes. John Cena's asked to leave. And it's CM Punk's time to celebrate. Triple H congratulates him and everything. But what happens next beyond me? And definitely a little bit of a shocker for me personally. I'll get to that more in just a moment through some interviews with some people who were also with me to watch this great event last night. Last night I had the pleasure of once again having some friends join me for SummerSlam. Like I said before, a great show. Joining me at this time is one of those people who joined us last night, Tad Hunt. Tad, if you can come on down. Tad wasn't always really into wrestling, wanted to come up over for SummerSlam last night. He's seen it a couple times, kind of knew the storylines going on, and luckily enough for someone like me, was a CM Punk fan. So, anyway, going on to what happened, it came down, Punk's the champion. Well, Diesel, Kevin Nash comes out through the fans. No idea why. Triple H is up the stage. John Cena is long gone. CM Punk celebrating. Gets interrupted by Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash coming out there and hitting him and then giving him the jackknife powerbomb for Alberto Del Rio to come in and cash in Money in the Bank. Just a kick to the head, and Del Rio's a new champion. Tad, you were there last night to see the
Yes, John. Yes,
eruption.
it was.
The eruption that was going on in my house when this happened, and you were definitely a part of that too. How was being just one of your first shows seeing? What was your kind of reaction when all this was taking place last night?
It was exciting, but very disappointing. You know, CM Punk deserved that title, and then out of nowhere, Del Rio comes and just claims the title. I mean, it was a very unfair match, but...
Which how most Money in the Bank cases are, you know, the Money in the Bank briefcase winner can cash in when the champion's most vulnerable, as Del Rio proved once again last night. Del Rio, the new WWE Champion. You know, getting ready for Raw to start tonight, what do you think are going to be some further actions about the whole Kevin Nash, CM Punk, Del Rio, even John Cena involved? Do you have any idea what you think could possibly be taking place tonight?
You know, I really don't, but I don't think that Del Rio is going to keep that title for very long.
It could be very true. Triple H, hopefully he's going to have some sort of reaction tonight on Raw. You have to keep in mind Night of Champions is the following pay-per-view where every championship is put on the line during the show. Of course, the WWE Championship will obviously be one of those matches. You have all these guys, in my opinion, who have legitimate claims to the championship, or at least a championship shot. Tonight will be Rey Mysterio now going on one-on-one against Alberto Del Rio, as it was supposed to be Mysterio versus either Punk or Cena, whoever would have won last night. Well, since it was Del Rio, one would presume Mysterio and Del Rio. Do you think Del Rio is just going to be a one-hit wonder, hold the title one night, or do you think he'll at least hold it for a month or so?
Like I said, I don't think he's going to hold it very long. Tonight, I think it will be a very interesting match. I don't think he's going to win, but that's not to say that he doesn't have a good chance.
And there you hear it from Tad himself. Just in another moment, and we'll have another guest on the show. Okay, so it was quite apparent Tad is a CM Punk fan from the couple nights he had actually watched wrestling. Doesn't have a lot of confidence in Del Rio as champion now. Joining me at this time is somebody from the other end of the spectrum, a big John Cena fan, if I'd say so myself, Evan Foster. Evan, if you can come on down. So, Evan, you know, watching John Cena versus CM Punk, can you at least claim how great of a match was it, in your opinion? The match itself.
Any John Cena match is the number one match of the night. No matter what contention happens, no matter who wins, John Cena is always the man. Let's just get that straight out there, first of all, okay? But otherwise, the match was alright.
Yeah, and, you know, and I'm not going to take that away from him. I personally think John Cena is a great athlete, has the ability to put on a great match, and on top of everything else is very entertaining, to say the least. I know you, by biting your fingernails, not as much, but in a lot of the match, John Cena in the driver role, especially with all those STFs he had on, I mean, I'm sure you can vouch with that. So, what was the thoughts going through your head when CM Punk hits go to sleep, John Cena's foot's on the bottom rope, but the 3 count still takes place?
Triple H needs to pay more attention. He's a good referee. He's a good wrestler. He's in my top 10 for all-time wrestlers. The man just doesn't pay attention. He needs to open his eyes, know what he's doing in the ring at all times, know what's going on in the ring at all times. If you can't do that, you don't belong as CEO, you don't belong as a referee, you don't belong in this World Wrestling Federation at all, period. You have to know what's going on.
Wow, definitely strong words there. I don't know, and the way it kind of looked to me last night, it looked like Triple H may have noticed Cena's foot was on the bottom rope and just
he hesitated the 3 count.
Didn't want to say so. Like, you know, John Cena was getting in his face after the match saying, my foot was on the rope and Triple H didn't want to necessarily hear of it and just asked John Cena politely to leave. There was no replay after the match. You think that has to do with anything? Do you think, and then going on with that, do you think Triple H had any idea that Kevin Nash was going to be coming out when he did?
Triple H didn't know Kevin Nash was going to be there. There's no way. Kevin Nash isn't even, he's on TNA now. What's Triple H going to know he's going to be there? Maybe he was just up in the stands spectating for this. You never know. However, Triple H hesitated at the 3 count. Okay? And as far as everything else goes, life happens. Cena will be back. He will be top contender again. As far as I'm concerned, the whole match was a fluke.
Okay, strong words once again. Of course, John Cena and The Rock setting for WrestleMania 28 was there in the main event of the show. The number one hope for that match is that it's a WWE Championship match, as John Cena's wanting, which would presumably assume that Cena will be champion once again before WrestleMania. Diesel, Kevin Nash, actually with a Legends contract with WWE, and a lot of you may not have known that, but I was surprised to see it myself too. As Evan pointed out, he thinks Triple H was. Once again, very eager to see Raw tonight. Rey Mysterio's getting that championship match like I mentioned before. A lot to be discussed. Can't wait to tune in. Thank you, Evan. And that's it for my review of SummerSlam. Once again, very interesting night last night. More soon to hopefully come after Raw tonight. But once again, thanks for tuning in. I'm John. Have a good one.